just not gonna move this week. I'm gonna sit right here. Ooh, that's my belly. Just gonna sit right here so as I not disturb the stream. What is going on, guys? Oh goodness. Just got back from a walk with my wife and dog after a little din-din. That was a hot weekend. You'll kind of see that in this week's video. I'll address it now. Putting out I didn't do as good as I had hoped with the whole vlogging thing at Selinsgrove. A little disappointed in myself. What's going on, man? A little disappointed in myself in the whole vlogging aspect of racing. Matter of fact, a little disappointed in how I performed, but I have some notes on what it's going to take for next time. Tire knowledge is a huge thing. It was my first real experience with racing Reapers. I've run Reapers before. I've run them up here, but nothing. They're not to the stakes that in the competition level that I was facing this past weekend. And I saw a couple things that I definitely need to address. If I want to go back next year and actually do well, there are a couple adjustments I need. What's going on, man? Florida. It feels like the past couple weeks has felt like Florida up in New York. It's been sticky wet, sticky hot, sticky. We get that every now and again up in New York. Hopefully the fan's not bothering you. It's too bad. Am I a little quiet? I can move this upper. Showing off my belly again. There. Is that more gooder? Can you hear me maybe a little bit better? Oh, loud and clear. Okay. What's going on, man? The super duper South. I gotta watch your new video. I sometimes I comment and stuff. Sometimes I just watch stuff. Sometimes I listen to videos at work. Yeah, I saw the new one. I was like, ooh, a body video. Far out, man. Yeah, and so I went to Selinsgrove, and if you guys watch my stuff, I try and do the vlog stuff. It's just, what's really weird is I'm comfortable here. I'm comfortable doing educational videos, showing you guys stuff, all the descriptives. Cool, great. When it comes to as bold as I may seem here, talking to myself around people, it's a shortcoming of mine. I do it. It's just I'm not. I'm out of my element. I get a little better at it. What I ended up doing was forgetting to turn on the camera towards the end. So what you're going to see in this week's video on Sunday is me start to kind of chat up and talk what's going on and this and that, and then I get busy with the cart and wander around and talk with other people, and I just don't turn the camera on. Matter of fact, I don't think I had the GoPro with me half the time. I was BSing with people. So I'm falling behind. I have shortcomings when it comes to my vlog style videos. But for the most part, the racing's there. I had a protector over the front of the Insta for the beginning of all the races I was showing, and I took it off and just kind of, hopefully a rock doesn't hit it, and it's so much clearer without that protector on. But yeah, I'm talking to myself, getting 4 carts ready. I've been there. At one point in time, this garage that I'm in right now, Walt and I, mostly Walt's pocketbook, but Walt and I had 4 or 5 opens going at the same time. So we had a Bama cart with a backup engine. We had a BRC on another cart. I think that was on a Triton. We had twin 131 sedans on another cart, and then a Jawa on another, and then something else. And I've since, I got a clone cart and an open cart now, which is, it sounds like a lot to some people because some people only have 1 cart, but this is really small compared to what I've had before. But yeah, the vlog didn't vlog very well from this weekend. sorry. I'll get better at it. I just, you know, the more I do it, and, you know, I'm also, I mentioned it a couple times in this weekend's video coming up here, that I was out of my element. I'm used to burst 33s, burst 11s, sliding around loose dirt, you know, really trying to get a hold of the track type of thing, to whereas I was on Reapers and I freed it up too much for qualifying, but I was glued to the track, man. I mean, during the feature, I lost the draft, and then, I was wide open. That's all I got, but I know there's that debate about mini gears versus regular gears, and I favored the side of regular gears. But there's no denying the jump that the mini gears have, the ability to stay with one another on starts. It's serious, and I definitely felt as if I don't think I was down on power, because once we're wound up, I could keep pace, but the simple fact that you need to be up when you're especially at the size of a track that Selinsgrove is, you need to get a toe, and if you lose that toe, you're in trouble. So yeah, there's bunch of crying on my part. I didn't do good. I qualified 19th. I'm terrible at clone racing. One more clone race, and then I'm going to break the Open out, and then I'll be on the Open a little bit more towards the end of this year, and get back to reality, back to what I'm good at. Loud and clear. Yeah, that's better. Glad to hear. Good evening. Hello everybody. I have a question. How far past the wear marks can I run a Reaper? I have a right tire. You'd be surprised. The guys that I was racing against, some of the guys I was racing against, no names or anything, but there were people cutting the dots off the Reaper to make them fast. And I was told, when I talked, I was bouncing back and forth with Terry Odom last year when I got the Reapers and everything, and he says there's still rubber below where the marks are. And on a super fast track, a lot of people I walked up, and, you know, a buddy of mine, so I touched his tires just to be a jerk, you know, like, ooh. Don't do that. You get punched if it's somebody you don't know. But there was literally almost no dot left, and I'm like, holy crap. And he's just like, it's what makes him fast, at least at this particular, you know, at least what they seem to believe. So there is rubber below the dot, and some people, if the track is that good, they're cutting them down that far anyway. So there's that. Yeah, I agree. Track was phenomenal. Definitely. It broke apart a little bit in the feature. I mean, we were 4th or 5th. 425 class was 4th or 5th out. It was breaking apart in 3 and 4. And in the video you catch me, you'll see I do this, and I was going wide open, and everything was fine, and they started the pack was starting to hit that same line, and they started to chunk it up just a little bit. I mean, it wasn't bad, but they started to chunk it up a little bit. And then I was watching where, oh shoot, I'm drawing a blank. Oh, give me the number 9 in the Pro 390. He was coming off super low. I mean, he was running a defensive line towards the end of that race. I mean, it's $3,000 to win or $2,000 to win, whatever it was. But I think that was purposefully also because of where that turn was tearing up. I can only assume it got worse from there. But I started to get, I mean, I wasn't loose from that. I was loose because of the track loss grip right there. But yeah. Yeah, minis they're a lot of money. But the mini gears it's gonna have to be a thing. Maybe not for the bull rings around me, because I run like a 10 or 11 tooth. I don't have a 10, 11 tooth. I was thinking a 10 because of my chunky butt getting up off the corner. But I don't have to run the minis on the tiny little tracks here. But if I go to anything with size, I could see it, like from the seat. I mat the gas and they just kind of jump, and I'm like, oh, I don't have that. One time I ran the Reapers, I didn't. Yeah. So everything that, like track tech that I've run on them, and that's all I ran. I had a mix of what would be Acrosol. It's TrackTech's version of it. It's called Quick Dry, something they offer, and Pink, or not Pink. I'm sorry, Ruby, which is similar to Pink Magic ish, give or take, somewhere in there. Anyway, I was cutting the Ruby with Acrosol, and then I was also 50-50 with black sand. Or maybe I had a little black sand in it. Anyway, so super light stuff. The squirrels are going nuts in here. But super light. Matter of fact, in qualifying, I did wipe before I went out in qualifying, but I only wiped once just to fire them off type of deal. I had nothing in, nothing on. It was a brand new set of 2023s. They had 5 laps on them. I just scuffed them in like last year sometime. And then I wiped them once and for qualifying, and way too free. I also bumped my air pressures up trying to get some speed out of the thing. I picked up 2/10 doing just that, but I also made the thing way too free. I had no drive off the corner. I was having to, I mean, it's, in my opinion, because I'm used to an opens power, when I can't hold it wide open, something's wrong with the clone. But when it came to feature, like, I didn't want to go to the 25s. The 25s are too new, they're too soft. I already feathered one set, mildly feathered one set of 23s in practice. So I went to my untouched set for qualifying, and then I went back to my untouched set, except for I wiped them up. I put a grind to them, I think 120 grit. I hit them real quick, which probably a little aggressive for those. It could have been a little lighter. And then I just wipe. I probably had 4 to 6 wipes of that Ruby Acrosol combination on them. And I think I had a little black sand, like 25% black sand in there, just to bite them up a little bit, and that did the trick. I mean, I won't say it locked me down, but I could go right back. I was wide open that entire feature. You know, I might not have been had I not lost the draft, but it was, I think the biggest thing I saw with the Reaper was that people were sanding them, like, not as soon as it came off, but in between sessions. You wanted to get that layer off and then choose what you wanted to do with wiping again. And like I said, some people were not only sanding them, they had the file out and they were just they were negating the amount of rubber that was on the track or on the tire for that track. It was impressive. It was a learning experience, and that's why I did it, because I'm just from Western New York. We're a bunch of rednecks from, Northeast rednecks. We got small tire, small tracks and this and that. Going to a bigger event like 193 Promotions put on, the Clone Wars there was an event. There was 250 carts there, something like that. I think that's what it was. There was 21 in my class, and my class was one of the smaller classes. I think they had qualifying, and the kids had consies and what have you. I think, but anyway, they had 50 something show up for the 390, and they were only taking 24 in that. So obviously I didn't do it. But yeah, use methanol. Everyone said not put soap on them. Oh, it's possible. I think I used the blue tire wash, that stuff right there. I think I used that a little bit, but I mean, I don't go crazy with that. Yeah, I wish it was a little better than it's. I was unimpressed with myself last night when I was doing the editing. Now, mind you, I do all the editing on my phone, but I was unimpressed with what I had recorded, and I'm like, all right, dude, you got to do better. I plan on hopefully vlogging the Grand Nationals, which is in September, going out to Iowa for the UAS stuff. I plan on vlogging that. I'll have my buddies in tow there, Jamie and Doug. Hopefully Jamie's coming, but I'll have them kind of boasting me on. They're not afraid of me, spouting off and being who I am. So I just got to embolden myself. Maybe I'll do one I could do one for John's race. Allegheny Memorial Speed, that bull ring I run, the High Bank bull ring. He has his, what is it, August 23rd, I think, 22nd, 23rd is his big race. Maybe I'll try and vlog that one. I'm comfortable around the people in Wellsville, New York. They're, a lot of them are, my race family. A lot of them I know, so I won't feel as is small, I guess. That's a weird term to say. Around my, people that I know. So I'll have no problem, breaking out the selfie stick. The as is, I just fire up the GoPro, I turn on the quick thing, and I just kind of, I always start down here for some reason, and then I end up here and just record myself. One time I was covering up the mic. My vlog skills suck. But I like the experience. I like that. I'm not super with the heat, because, unfortunately, I hate snow, but because I've been up here my entire life, I'm used to it being cooler. So when we get Florida type weather, I mean, it was 90 degrees and humid as all get out. I mean, I've been to Florida a couple times, 3 or 4 times, and I know what the humidity and heat feels like down there. And we get about 2 to 3 weeks up here every year, and it was right there at Pennsylvania. I was walking around without a shirt on quite a bit of the day because I'm like, holy smokes. I mean, just saturated the shirt I had on. It was crazy. I told my wife I bought some body armors. I drank like 5 body armors and then like 7 waters all day long. 6 or 7 waters, something like that, and just pouring it over my head is crazy. Yep. Yeah, so my dad lives down there in Ocala, and he said that when he moved down there almost 20 years ago, he ran, with UAS during the FKA series and all that. And he says that, a lot of it, you guys like to take breaks during July and August. And there's tracks running, but just it's not as, like that's your pause session. Like, whoa, hold up. It's friggin' hot out, man. And I get that. That's so Jamie, one of my best friends, lives down in just outside of Daytona, and then my dad's in Ocala. I went to Tampa one year. That was March. FKA ran there. I ran a 125cc around Tampa. I know that Dirt Devils doesn't exist. Dirt Devils? Whatever Tampa it was, doesn't exist anymore. And then I've been to big fast one at the top of the state. Give me a second, I'll think of it. It was Grand Nationals. Where was that? Damn it. Jasper. There we go. I got it. That was an awesome track. I was impressed with that. And the owner there was coming around because you guys had a big rain like the night before our Grand Nationals, and there was the water had come across the track a little bit, and it was just a little funky. Like I was using it as a throttle point, when to pick up before or afterwards. And he was, Wayne, I think his name is, he was, sorry, the track's so rough. It's just like, you have no idea what rough is, dude. This is glass. I got a picture, one of these photos is with my left front picked up. And that's at that track. It's right there. I can see it from here. My left front's picked up off it's coming out of 2, I think. I was letting it rotate in. I pick up the throttle, and it would just, and it'd pick up that left front. And I was like, holy crap, this thing's just got bite. Yes, Terry, the dog father there. Terry's a good dude. Yeah, the whole dog pound. My old man was known as Wonder Dog because he wondered this and wondered that, and it pretty cool. Yeah. Oh shoot, Wayne just passed last year, I think. Psycho Dog. I remember him and Fast Eddie and those guys. Fast Eddie's still going at it. I mean, he's super dude. Yeah, big fan of Florida. I just can't get maybe eventually, but I doubt we're gonna move down there. Seems like my kind of place. Seeing as how I hate snow. I used to give my dad crap when he moved way back when. I was just like, oh, Tim doesn't like snow. Gotta go to Florida, blah, blah, blah. And then now that I've been here 20 extra years and he's been out of the state, and I'm over it. I'm over shoveling. I'm over running the snowblower. I'm over driving in those conditions. And then, of course, you get they get hurricanes down there. It's like, yeah, but we get 6 months of crap weather, man. It's a bummer. Nice. Is Morrison where they're going to run 2026 Grand Nationals? Was that track? I'm drawing a blank. I think it's in Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. Excited about that because I won't go to Arizona because I can't afford to do it. Like or Washington State. They've had they've had the Grand Nationals, you know, okay, and rightfully so. No condemnation here, but they ran the Grand Nationals in Washington State, and they ran it in Arizona, and it's just 33-hour pole. There's no way I can do that. I can't afford to do it. There's no way to take that time off, this and that. But if you're talking about a 15-hour pole, that's doable. It's like 12 to 13 out to Iowa this coming year, and then I think down there, the one time I ran in Tennessee was Dumpling Valley, which is gone now. It seems to be a thing here of tracks disappearing, but that track was fast. That was a burst track, and I don't say burst track as in it was burst only track, because we're UAS, we can run whatever tire we want. I went down there with Vagas, and I thought, Vagas are faster than burst. Not even remotely. 2 seconds a lap faster. I went on burst. 2 seconds. I mean, this past weekend, I was anywhere from 4 to 6 tenths off of the lead group of guys in the clone. That's a lot. Everybody knows if you're any more than a tenth, maybe 2 off a pole, off of the lead guys, you're in trouble. It was a win for me to be within a second of people who were fast in a clone, because clone is not my thing. I'm learning it. I'm getting better at it. I'm learning adjustments. I'm learning what it takes to be a clone racer, but it's not my thing. But 2 seconds from a tire switch, just like that, oh, goodness gracious, that was amazing. Yeah, UAS at Hunterstown that's a great track. That's a great facility in Pennsylvania. I really do. I've said before, I'll say it a million times. I have a love-hate relationship with Hunterstown. I won a $1,000 money race there on my open. I have also missed the 2023 Grand Nationals because apparently I don't know how to keep a chain on my cart or any speed in the cart. It's just, I drove in 2018, I drove from 15th or whatever, 13th, 15th, up to 5th at that track at the Grand Nationals. And then we returned there with that kind of in my back pocket. I've won money here. I've driven up to the front with what I have, and then I don't even make the A. And I'm not lap traffic, but I'm in the way in the B. And it's sometimes you miss it, man. It is scary fast. It's, yeah, goodness. Yeah, I got to see Johnny Eckert this weekend. And his boy, Jansen, super fast, even a clone. I mean, it was funny to see Johnny, because Johnny's just like, "Do you ever think this would be a thing?" And I'm like, "No," because we were KT 100 two-stroke guys. We were, open guys running, just that wedge type outlaw type of racing and this and that. And here he is, fixing a cart up for his kid running a clone, and I'm running a clone. I'm like, oh, who saw this coming 10 years ago, man? This is oh, there. Yeah, 2000s in PA, I was sprinkled in. Yeah, that's what I'm talking. I'm gonna go with everything I have, because you can't not do that. That's the argument against people say we want open tire. In the South, what you mean is you want it Maxxis tire. I get it, and I don't fault you guys for that. When you say I want it open tire, when we talk about open tire, as if I put myself back in my UAS open cart shoes, we're talking about whatever tire you got. So I got Maxxis sitting here. You know why they're out? Because I got to start thinking about mounting them up and flipping and what tires look good, and start a Duro and start to get some prep work going on them. I got to take those out to the Grand Nationals. Here's a couple months out. I got to start thinking about that thing. I also got back here going to the same Grand Nationals. Or am I just taking Maxxis? No, of course not. I'm taking Vega Yellows, because you never know when you're going to need a softie. You never know when you're going to need to pour the prep to something. I'm going to take Burris. Probably won't take Reapers. Nothing against Reaper tire. The least experience I have with any tire. I mean, I'm already behind on the Maxxis train with my knowledge, but my Maxxis knowledge is better than my Reaper knowledge, so I won't take that. So I'll be taking Burris. I'll be taking some Burris 33s, because you just never know. I'll be taking Vega Yellows, and I'll be taking Maxxis Pinks and Blues with me. and if I can afford it by then, I'll probably have a set of whites. Just because. Now, when we say, as I say, UAS guys, going back to that, when we say open tire, we mean you better bring every tire you got, because you never know what track it's going to be the fastest. Now, I do have ears in the ground type of thing. Ears in the ground, is that right? Eyes on the ground. Anyway, I have people out there that are telling me what people have done well on, and it's still kind of an open playbook. It's, you know, it's a little bit of, hey, it's probably going to go pinks and blues, but there's a chance that if it stays soft, if the weather, you know, doesn't cooperate leading up to the event, if the ground stays soft, if that track doesn't come in the way, you know, I think some of the Southern guys are hoping it is, maybe my knowledge base of the Vega tires that I'm very comfortable with, that I've run multiple years, you know, in UAS with, maybe that comes to the top. Or, you know, maybe it goes burris. Maybe you know, maybe you need something with a little softer sidewall that's going to roll over and bite into that track. So that's the open tire discussion is different depending on where you're at. When people say open tire, it depends what part of the country is. When you're up here in the north, open tire means whatever works, because we have some harder tracks that could take a Maxxis. We have some, you know, tracks that definitely, you know, if I'm running an open, I'm probably running a Vega yellow at a majority of the tracks. There's a couple tracks, burris work way better than anything else. So down south, I think open tire means we want our Maxxis back. You know, it's just my opinion on that, just from what I've read. But yeah, but the load the trail, getting ready for Saturday night. Nice. Cool. I am taking a little bit of a break from racing, just schedule-wise. I gotta, you know, keep. Matter of fact, I see my wife right there. She's putting stuff in the RV. We are going RVing this weekend. We're gonna go out, hang out with my sister and brother-in-law and family. We're gonna go just chill, drink some bourbon. Maybe I'll have a cigar or two, and do some swimming and hang out and campfiring and all that thing. And then the following weekend, to date myself, it is my 30-year class reunion from high school. And then I have a little family reunion thing on that Sunday. So I gotta make sure to have videos done prior to the weekend, before all this happens, you know, because sometimes I have a procrastination thing. I can't let that happen. I got to get all this stuff done, and then I won't be back behind the wheel till August 9th. I think that's the first time, and then I got to scramble again because I'm going to be going on vacation after that, so I got to hurry up. I got to get the open back together. I say open. Somebody was in my DMs, and they were talking about open. When I say open, I mean UAS. I got to stop doing that. It's what we reference to outlaw opens, open modifieds, this and that, up at UAS rules. It's typical, you know, a typical term we use up here. When I've heard that, you know, people were talking about small block opens and this and that, you guys are, you know, it's a different reference point. So I should clarify when I'm speaking and say that UAS, wrong what you're wrong, or like a small block open. Then, you know, differentiate between them. Oh, wait, okay, yep. Do white Maxxis take internal prep well, like regular? I would assume so. I think from what I've heard, they say, oh, you don't need to prep them. We've heard that about Vega yellows, and I probably prep Vega yellows more than I prep any other tire. So that when the Vega yellow came out, the MAS, it's now a MCS, I think. It's the third version of it. They don't need prep. They're soft enough. Silly to talk. They say that Maxxis whites don't need internal prep. I would, if just on the available information that's been given to me, Vega whites are much like Vega whites. Maxxis whites are like a Vega yellow-ish. Like it, you know, just a bit up, pink and blue. Will I be internal prepping them? Yep. That's probably the only ones I suggest not internally rolling are Reapers and Bursts. You can run internal on both of those tires. Do I suggest it from my experience? No, I don't think they need it. I think that Reaper behaves a little like a Burris a harder Burris from my opinion. It has a sidewall like a Maxxis, but as far as date code, as far as only prepping at track, very Burris-like. But I would be treating a Maxxis white much like a Vega yellow, in my opinion. Especially seeing as how I'll be running them if I get some. I'll be running them on the open. So, and then it's wipe. I do miss that. That's the one thing about running clones is you're using prep sparingly. Because you don't want to lock yourself down to where's the open. I really used to lay it to it, and that was fun. 3 hours for me, and they from what I've heard, somebody, was it Wes Snow? He used to be a UAS guy way back when, and I think they had a race there, and I think he was on Burris. I think he won on Burris. That's because I had made a joke about we're going south and saying, man, I got to get back on my Maxxis game, and somebody brought up that Wes Snow, the last time, maybe not the last time they were there, a time when they were there, Wes Snow waxed everybody on a set of Burris 33s. So it might be that kind of in-between track to where you can run anything. But I mean, if it goes 33s, cool. That's, that's Burris are, more in my wheelhouse than Maxxis are. But I throw shade at myself because of Maxxis. It's just, I don't run them enough. I don't hate them. I think they get along just fine. I think they're a great tire. I don't have a ton of experience with them. I just got a KT100 and was wondering how you take the clutch off. It has a wet style clutch on it now. Ooh, there used to be a clutch holder. Boy, that's way back. I haven't run that style of KT clutch since, 2005. So I'm sorry, I don't actually know. When I ran a wet style clutch on there, we had clutch holder to keep it from spinning so you could take it off. And then I think you lapped it on. Was that a thing? Yes. So you would take lapping compound and you'd spin it. You'd spin it on the shaft so it got a nice tight, you pop it off, then you put your keyway in there, and then you put it on and then draw your bolt on. And that would sandwich it off. So in order to get it off, I want to say you're going to need just I would use, some kind of fingered puller, like a pulley puller. And that should work because I believe they're lapped on and there may or may not be a keyway on the crank. I'm not sure. What's going on, G-Lou? Morrison, the Burris track, a sack, but over wrong way. Yep. What's my gang flag behind me? That is Beard Octane. My gang. Yes. So anybody needs any beard oil or anything, Ben at checkout saves you 10% off. Hey Ben, sorry I can't be. Nice. Very cool. Bill Sear, now that I know how to pronounce your last name. What's going on, man? Can't afford the prep tire build needed for HD3. So I still haven't done a video on Maxxis because of it's not my lack of knowledge, it's because I think I've absorbed enough about the tire, or at least about what people are doing to the tire. It's that I don't have the necessity for a tire cycle to be fully knowledgeable about what I've absorbed a lot of knowledge. People talk at me, and they Maxxis need this, they do this, they do that. You gotta cycle them, you gotta scuff them, and then you let them sit, and then you're gonna want like a 6-week tire, that's had 90 cc's in it, and there is an art to them. But the only way that I would run them, maybe I'd go out and scuff them. Okay, cool. And that's heat on the tire machine. It's not the same thing. You actually have to scuff them, put them on track, and get that tire to work a little bit. or like Super Duper South, just on concrete and just do laps on that. I want that looked like a great idea. But then your internal prepping them, and then up into the point, from what I know, you just wipe them like once a week to keep the oils in the tire, to keep that bite built in the tire. And then coming to the week of, then you're gonna wipe, like once a day or something like that, depending on whatever track you're going to, whatever bite level that you need. You're gonna build bite throughout the week coming into there. So I can understand that the prep build to keep a plethora of Maxxis tires in stock. If you're like a bigger kart operation, or you plan to run up front at some of these big money races, I understand that. I wouldn't say that, like a Saturday night race, I don't think you got to be crazy. You wouldn't have to be crazy with that whole cycle thing, because chances are most people are not going to be. Just my opinion. A standard Saturday night race. But if you're, when you go to these bigger races, when you go to a Clone Wars, when you go to a state event, and you see the trailers, the lineup of 4 karts, there are 5 karts that are lined up ready to run every single class, and they have an entire trailer full of tires, then, you're going to be a bit out to lunch and a bit behind in the prep game. I understand that. Saturday night racing, I don't think it's near as critical. I mean, you could be that serious if you wanted to, but that's just my opinion. Just curious as what's take on the Mino Gino drama. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it all. I'll go with that. I'm not going to that race. I don't like what they did. I don't have a warrior in the fight to give. I have opinions. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it all. I think they are deviating from the rung what you brung. I mean, if you're going to hang your hat on the rung what you brung, aside from the safety aspect, then do the rung what you brung. Now, if you're creating a whole new class called, Open Outlaws or something like that, just don't call it rung what you brung. With a weight rule, do I like the weight rule? Absolutely not, because you just I'll take it from this point. We'll take any personalities or anything out of it. You just dismissed anybody else with an open engine. You only are going to get people who are, and it's fine. I'm a bigger guy. I weigh heavy. I'd have to put 30 pounds on my cart to run it. You just dismissed everybody with a smaller engine. I don't like that. That 470 weight rule, I don't like that. I think that was created to keep certain people out. I don't like that. I think that's bogus. Making rules to I'll go back to, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. So I'm not going to that race. It's cool. I wish them well. I hope it goes well for everybody. I have opinions. We'll go with that. My grammar may not be poor, but my grilling is impeccable. My grammar may be poor, but my grilling is impeccable at steak. That's a good one. I too would stake a claim on this. I can't wait to grill. I can't wait to grill this weekend. I have this thing. So Gary, who was just in here, if he's still in here, hi Gary, again. But Gary got me to buy a Rectech. I have a Bullseye, if you know what that is. So it's a pellet smoker, but it is a kettle style smoker. So the fire pot's in the center, and riot mode gets up to, I think mine still does, like 730 degrees. Crazy hot. Not the best smoker, although I can smoke ribs. I can smoke, fairly. I can do some jerky, stuff like that. Just pretty mild type of smoking, nothing crazy. No pork belly bits, because I almost caught the thing on fire. Don't do that. Anyway, because it gets so hot, it takes a little bit longer to fire up during the winter, but I get to grill all winter long because of how hot this thing, and how propane grills don't like the super cold weather, especially here in New York. I mean, I've grilled in zero weather with snow on the ground. I've put out some videos on that, not on YouTube, but on my personal pages. I grill all year long, but I especially love to grill during the summer, steaks, burgers. I found that hot dogs disagree with me at 48 years old. Not doing that anymore. I'm sure I'll have hot dogs. I have to take it easy on them. They just disagree. Reapers don't seem to retain prep very well. Yes, yes, absolutely. A lot of, from my experience now this past weekend, they did not want, because I was wiping one set with black sand and Acrosol, and I almost think that I could have increased the Acrosol in it, or the Track Tack dry tire. I could have increased that even more. You just need it to dry the tire a little, almost like a degreaser, but not quite. But build a little bit of bite into it. But it depends on what track you're in. But yeah, I agree. They reject abusing them. If you go super hard, I got a buddy that's down the Wellsville, AMS, and he has gone ham on a set of Reapers and got them soft. It will work. You can do it. You can make a Reaper a soft tire, but it takes a lot, and it takes a lot of consistency in doing it and really hammering that stuff home. For most of the tracks that a Reaper is going to be good at, I think you are only slowing the tire down by putting too many oils in it, because it doesn't want to accept it. So when you don't have enough solvent in a prep to penetrate into the tire, it's going to reject the oil. The oil's not going to be able to get in there. So you almost have to, from the little bit of experience I have this past weekend, you have to the solvent has to be more than the bite agent, aka an oily prep, in order to properly to do them. I don't know, would Armstrong, that's the name. That's the Armstrong, that whole team was phenomenal. It was a fleet of Tricons. There's something I could talk about too. But they handled themselves awesome. I didn't see, obviously they're working tires. Obviously they know tires. Obviously they've worked on the Reapers and have, a system of them. But from everything I saw around me, what people were doing to them, the sanding, the cutting sometimes, and mild wipes at track. There's my opinion on that a Maxxis is going to take far more work prior to a day of racing. The Reaper is going to take way more work the day of racing than a Maxxis will. A Maxxis to me is much like a Burris, much like, where am I going with this? Yeah, I lost it. Oh yeah. Like a Maxxis is like a Vag or anything. You do the work prior to the night of racing, and then you don't have to do as much at the racetrack. You clean the tire once you come off, maybe a wipe, maybe two before you go out. Fantastic. To whereas a Reaper, I believe, coming off, sanding, a thinness, a date code are both things that are going to matter with a Reaper. So you're doing more tire work the day of rather than prior to. But that's just my opinion. Just what I've absorbed since my experience with them. Couldn't agree with you more. Happy to you possibly moving south. I know. It's my son has 2 more years in college, and then the wife and I consider it. My son he's going to college. It's half an hour from here, so it'd be silly for us to pick up and leave. He has yet to start his life. Or life after school type of thing. He's getting interactive game design, I believe is his major. So he's gonna, he's developing a skill set with computers to where programming and this and that. And like I told him, that doesn't pigeonhole you into just doing games. Your skill set is going to be, possibly other avenues, advertising, graphic design, blah, 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 all that stuff. All this stuff he's absorbing is really good. And he's doing really well in school. So we're obviously not pulling out now, but my wife I don't know. It really depends what my kids do. My wife's, you know, on taking off to another state. But maybe, I mean, you know, it's no secret New York is not doing well. Our taxes are insane up here. It's stranglehold on us, and I would love to go down, get some of that freedom, get some more of that freedom, and better food. Our food is dull up here, man. But yeah, that's eventually a couple of years, hopefully. Maybe this channel, you know, keeps on chugging on, and I bring my skill set down south, maybe. I'm a big guy like you. What is a good gear on clone? Yeah, it depends what size track you're running. From what I saw this past weekend, I don't have many gears. I kind of wish I did. Running a smaller driver definitely has an advantage with us bigger guys. So it helps get up off the corner. It helps stay with the pack on, or the lead pack, or whatever. It helps on restarts. That smaller driver, although it creates a steeper angle, I totally understand the concept of it. I was on a 15 driver when I believe that my competition was on a 13, and it was night and day. So the smallest driver you can be on without being too small, you know, up front type of thing. Like I said, the small bow ring that I run here, AMS, I'm on 11 driver. I could run a 10, but the 11 seems to be okay. You know, I don't like that it doesn't have a bearing, but it's, you know, I'd just be mindful of keeping grease in there to keep it, you know, spinning in there. But it depends on your size of track. You know, like for instance, I'm running an 1163 at the local track that I run, which is a little bigger than 10th mile. But I was on a 15, I think I ended up on a 1560 down in Selinsgrove, and I still got murdered. I mean, I added teeth to the back, and I could not, with the 15 driver, I could not keep that momentum up. It just took too long to draw into the especially seeing I was in the back, but those guys were grouping up, and I was trying to catch up, and I just don't like, you know, bumping into people. I know it's a thing in clone racing, but I don't like it. I try and stay off of people as much as I can. But yeah, it depends on size track. It's really, you know, burning and preps helps with them. Yes, absolutely. Getting tire warm, absolutely. Awesome in Upper East Tennessee. Come this way. Yeah, I would love Tennessee. I love North Carolina. I'd love Georgia. I don't have anything against Virginia. It just doesn't sound like it's south enough for me. If that makes sense. You know, if you're gonna go south, go south. It's like, and I always, you know, the Tennessee, North Carolina-ish, maybe top of Georgia. I love the area that GKK was in. That was pretty nice when we went down there a couple years ago. Really nice, but being, you know, because my mother's still going to be in New York, my sister is going to be here. If I could pick something kind of midway between Florida and New York, to whereas I could kind of, you know, 10-hour trip or whatever would bounce me back home, or bounce me down to Florida if we wanted to go to Universal or Disney, or, you know, go visit Jamie or my dad, you know, that type of scenario. I think that would be, you know, kind of a central hub, if you will. But, you know, I got a lot of crap, man. You know how I would have to burn half the stuff. I got so much junk in this park. What's going on? From Nepal. Ooh. The no vehicle inspections are what it keeps the car. Yeah, I know. The struggle is real in New York with the inspection stickers. It is. That I had, you know, a small little funny story rolling around. My buddy Jamie, I went down for his wedding, and we're rolling around with his cousin, and I happened to look over, and I was like, "Hey, man, your check engine light's on," and he's just like, "Okay." I'm like, "Your check engine light's on," and he's just like, "Okay." And I'm like, "You gonna be able to inspect that?" He's like, "Inspect what?" I'm like, "Oh, wait, hold up, pump the brakes." It happened down in Virginia one time, way back when we were running. I mean, it's probably changed since then, but we went to a Waffle House in the morning. It was a VDKA race at Margarettsville, and we had gotten up in the morning with our friends from Virginia, and we're ready to go, and we're grabbing a bite to eat before we go to the track and all that, and then we're eating our breakfast and look over and there's smoking cigarettes, and I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, we still have freedom down here. I'm like, oh, I mean, it's probably different now, but that was probably better part of 10 years ago, but still, it was just like, as much as I used to be a smoker, I don't smoke anymore. I quit 10 years ago. Well, it's longer ago than that. I quit 10 years ago, so it's probably 15 years ago. We were down there doing that. I don't love the smell of cigarettes anymore, but also I'm all about not telling other people what to do. Like, there's also courtesy. I don't like people blowing smoke in my face anymore, but hey, you know where I'm going from that. Do you run 35 or 428 chain on your UAS? 35 chain. There are, obviously the downside of it is going to be that it's, ever since Hortzman went out, unless you run something like Nitro Gears or something like that, a very high quality gear, most of the plain old gears they're not made of very good aluminum, and they eat up fairly quickly. So you got to be aware of that. The Hortzman used to be 771 or something like that. They used to be a pretty high test aluminum. There is that you should be on a UAS ride. You should be changing your chain 2 to 3 races without question, and your gears, the same. Like if there is even a thought of wearing out, you got to change them. 428, you're limited on gearing, especially with my 2-stroke. And therein lies a thing too. Like with my 2-stroke, we don't have near the torque that a big 4-stroke has, so we don't have to worry about that. You do have to worry a little bit about the snap, but not a lot, because the belt drive on the, like the Bama, the belt drive side takes a lot of that jerk out of it, and as long as you have a fair good amount of tension on your chain, you don't get that that banjo thing going on. You're pretty okay. I've run 35 for years. I definitely I used to not run a gear guard at all, and then I got way too comfortable with it. 2023 Grand Nationals happened. Threw my chain 3 times in one day. Changed nothing. Can't find the issue. Wyatt threw the chain. Beats me. Just a Hunterstown bite me in the butt type of thing. But I put a gear guard back on it, so we're not doing that crap anymore. Harder tires on a dry, dusty track. I know that doesn't make a ton of sense, but it will. So the softer your tires are, the more they're going to heat up in the pores of the tire, if you want to call them pores. It's not exactly pores, but the tire will heat up and get gummy, and then it will fill up with that dirt. So when you run a harder tire, you may use chemicals if you want to, a prop, but the holes are smaller. It's a lot harder for that dirt and debris to permeate the tire. You try, this is not always a thing, because sometimes you will run a softer tire on a little harder surface, and vice versa. Sometimes you run a little harder tire on a softer surface. It's not always when I say this, but in general, soft track, soft tire. Hard track, hard tire. That's in generality. I can't say that word. Generalities. That's not it. For the most part, that is the case. I'll take this. You don't have to listen to this, but this is asphalt guys like to run Vega yellows, unprepped Vega yellows. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense to this guy who runs dirt, because Vega yellows to me are for a medium to soft track. So you want that tire soft and bitey for the soft track. Well, asphalt is asphalt. It's hard. You would think, but the way the asphalt behaves is not like a dirt fall, a hard dirt track that gets a whole bunch of chemical in it, whether it be calcium from it being prepped, the track prep, or the prep being laid down. It creates a a finer style sandpaper, if you will, that is much different from asphalt is. Asphalt is more coarse. So I think there's something with that the asphalt doesn't treat the Vega yellow like it, like you would think that you run a hard tire on asphalt, but they don't like it. It's not a tire that they choose to run when they're running stuff like that. Figure it out. But in general, yes, hard tire, hard track, soft tire, soft track. In general, doesn't mean always and forever, just in general. Yeah, these are getting up there in durometer. I haven't. 2. Yeah, there's a little. I know I'm not. All my stuff's beat up and old, but there's 2. So I mark, if I have similar sets of something, I'll mark, I'll size up a set, or if it's a prep, internally, externally, whatever, I mark the set of tires just so I can differentiate between the 2, or 3 or 4 or whatever. But yeah. So yeah, got to work on going camping this weekend. Then next week, I'm going to be working on, obviously, I haven't completely cleaned up my cart yet. It's not going to I've tore it down for the most part, but get that washed up and good to go, the clone cart. And then definitely, I got to hyper focus on getting the UAS ride back around. I got a lot done to it the past couple weeks, not a lot, but I got a bit done to it the past couple weeks. So really, a good solid day of focusing on it, because I've built so many UAS rides in my, nothing's new to me. Like this, that, brake, Nerf bars, mount body, it's all up in here. I've been running, opens, UAS. See, I did it again. UAS for longer, obviously, than I've been running flat carts. So it's just, everything's pretty much, there anyway. I just have to kind of put my fuel tank's a big thing. Hey, what's going on, Ty? Hey, I raced that dude last weekend. He was faster than me, and then I was faster than him. Yeah, it was, I was going to bring that up. So at the track, this is my observation. There were a couple offshoots. There were, a trick here. There was a UMAX here, a UMAX there, or, but in general, this was, something I observed when I was at the track last Saturday. There was a sea of Tricons and Premiers. And then the next one that I saw in there sprinkled within was Charger. Those 3 brands, in my opinion, from what I saw, that's not saying that there weren't other carts there, but from what I saw, the plethora of the carts at that track, at this fairly big event, were Tricons, were Premiers, and were Chargers. So, when people are just like, hey, what's a good chassis? I mean, every chassis can be good if you're good with tires, if you're good with setup. But what do people choose to be on? And therein lies something as well. If you have identical equipment as the competitors, then your setup knowledge and your tire knowledge has to be on point. Yes, you're driving, but it's if you properly set up a cart, if you properly hit tires, then the driver's a wheel holder, in my opinion. Especially in clone racing, it doesn't mean that your skill set isn't good for knowing when to time a run or this and that. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying in general, if you have a sea of Tricons, Premiers, and Chargers, those chassis are going to behave similarly. So your tire knowledge and setup knowledge are going to be, they're going to be accentuated. After seeing everybody's tires, I'm like, man, I'm way too thick on my tread. It's something I got to work on. So I got the new surfacer. I'm gonna probably work on some shaving some tires. See what that's. I definitely want to come back. I'm assuming that that Tony and Missy are going to be doing this again next year. I'm buying a parking spot. It's like, listen, I'm a broke Western New York racer. One thing that I don't usually allow myself to do is pay for parking because I can just push a little further. I'm physically fit. I lift weights. I can do it. It sucks. Every freaking foot step pushing up sucks. Don't do that. Just pay the money. Just pay the money. Be there. Be close to the track. Be not in the back 40 where you can't hear the PA. Stop being a cheapskate. Oh God. Oh man, I totally whiffed on that. Pulled up and oh man, I didn't think it was going to be that bad until I had to walk to the bathroom, to concessions, to watch racing, to push my cart up, to push my cart back. I was just like, man, this is stupid. Now I'll give you, it wasn't that bad of a freaking spot. I mean, there was grass. It was a nice area. It just was out in it sucked. It was way too. Don't be cheap. If you're gonna go to the big races, just pay. The people who have never been to a big race like that, just pay for parking. It is going to be so much better. It may not be better on your pocketbook, but it's going to be better in general for pushing up, a very heavy cart or whatever. And especially if you're, holy crap. Well, hello from Barcelona, from New York, New York in the United States. Hi. But yeah, paying for parking is, I know it's a sore spot with some people because that's how, some tracks are paying their purses by overcharging for parking. I get it, but also those parking spots are pretty nice and they're a lot closer to everything. But racing Jasper, Florida, nice. Dude, Jasper is a super nice track. Really enjoy it down there. Mark Bergfeld, he is now passed. He was the originator of the Unlimited All-Stars. But him and I went down in 2000, was it 19? When was that? I can't see. 19, I think. And yeah, 2019. And we stayed just over the border in Georgia. And we ate Waffle House 3 nights in a row because the service was amazing and the people were just unbelievably polite. So nice down there. Yeah, that was a great time. I had a lot of fun with Mark. Got to know my friend very well, and I miss him. I don't talk about him too much because I start to get all like weepy. We don't want that on a live stream. But I see that it's an hour. I do have stuff to do. I got to get, not so much racing because I'm off for a couple 3 weeks, but I got to get I gotta get stuff around for RVing. I got to do a thumbnail. Everything's uploaded for the video on Sunday. Just have to build it. Yeah, I know, you build a box. Did you ever get out of there? That was really awesome. I love the setup and everything, but your trailer being all the way back in, ugh, yuck. But yeah, where was I going? Oh, I gotta get stuff. Oh, I gotta do a thumbnail and everything. Those of you who missed the beginning part of the stream, it is going to be a vlog and a poorly one at that. I was very disappointed in myself, the way I was recording, what I said, that not enough of it. There's racing. You're going to get to see the racing and everything, and I want to put the video out there. I don't want to do 2 videos. I don't care that much about views. I just put out what I put out. Of course, I want my stuff to do good. But when I've done that before, I've put out 2 videos on the same morning, and they both seem to fail equally. And I don't say fail. People are still watching them, and I appreciate the crap out of everybody watching them, but they don't do as well as a single does. So I'm going to try not to do that. Do I think it's the best video I've ever created? No. Is it the best vlog I ever created? Absolutely not. But I will get better. The more I do it, I haven't done that much. I'll work on it. I'll work on talking out in public, holding a selfie stick or camera. And, hey, what's going on, everybody? It's this thing. I'll get better at it, but that's what's coming out Sunday. We're going to have the Selins Grove Speedway, the Reaper race, the Clone Wars, put on by 193 Productions. That video is coming out Sunday, and then I got to do a video for next week. Maybe I'll do the tire edge video. Maybe not. I also have another. I said I was going to do it. I hate making promises. I should just shut my mouth when I do that, because I wanted to do a video on doing edges of tires, talking about this and flipping and all that stuff. I may put that on pause even longer because I had an idea come to me yesterday when I was at work. because I was listening to the Four Takes of Fuel podcast, and something just popped in my brain about a video I want to do, and I think that will make for a better video, better content than me talking about edges of tires, because I've referenced it a lot in other videos, so it's not like when I do a specific video, usually it's an offshoot of something I've already done. But this is a much better concept in my head, and I think I can do. It's fresh in my mind, so I think it'll make for a better video. So that'll be coming out. I'm not going to say what it is till I make it, because I don't want to make stupid promises I'm not going to friggin' keep. But yeah, that'll be coming the following week when I'm on. I'll be doing all my 30-year class reunion stuff. And then I'll get back into the flow of racing and all that stuff for the last bit of the summer we have up here. But yeah, continue to do these videos and reels. Oh, thank you very much for watching. I mean, this is it's not worthless to me to not do them, but I really appreciate the thanks. It's sometimes a little uncomfortable for me to take thanks in, because I just kind of do it. And but I thank you very much for watching. It's I know I try, my mind's constantly going for reels. I want to do the shorts. I like them. It's not about the views. Don't get me wrong. I love it. 17 million videos on that one video, and there's 30,000 on another one, and this and that. It's great. It's cool. My driving factor is not the views. I'm not that clickbaity type of dude. And nothing against anybody that does it. I mean, that's how the world of social media works. But I like it to be interesting. I like it to be fun. I like it to be kind of my original stuff. And so when you guys watch it, I think it's fantastic. Good evening. Just saying good evening to me as I was getting off here. I was looking for you. I had a camera when you. I know. I probably should do that. You would be a good one to get on. Get on film. I just have to be better at it. I just have to. I just have to be better at doing things that I'm uncomfortable doing. I'm in my barn by myself talking to you guys. I'm talking to a phone. It's not that hard to me. I've done the beard thing for years. I've been on live streams. I've done all that. This is not that difficult for me to do. But when I get around other people, anybody who's met me, it knows I have this personality, but uncorking that in front of people that I don't know is a little different. Anyway, all right. Wait. Oh, my fellow racer is some of the one. Nice. Yes. And thank you very much. That's it's tough. It's fun. I don't know. I do have a blast doing it. And a matter of fact, I was super scared. The thing that gives me confidence in getting the vlog thing down is that I was scared about this. It wasn't that long ago, before Wesley, talked me into it. And if you go back and watch the original ones with Wesley and I was, yes, Wesley can talk a lot. And I just sat in the background and just was, offering my little tidbits. And then once he stopped doing it, I had to step up and handle and command the room, if you will. And then I became very comfortable here. So I have to do the same thing vlogging. It's just, again, it's easier said than done because there's not a whole bunch of people around me. And I'm not one that gets embarrassed easy, which is blowing my mind. Like, why can't I do this? I can do it. It's just freaking do it. I don't want to make myself the center of attention. I also don't want to be that, hey, that guy just runs his mouth and he doesn't do anything type of thing. I want to be good at what I do in order to balance out me doing this as well. It doesn't, everybody can talk crap, but unless you can kind of hold your own, not that I'm talking crap. Anyway, all right, I'm rambling on. I appreciate you all coming by. We'll do this again next Thursday. That's, if you're here, or I'll be here if you want to be here, type of thing. We have the Selins Grove vlog coming up Sunday, and then a new video after that. And anyway, I will catch you guys later. I really appreciate you coming by every Thursday. Seriously, this is a lot of fun for me. It's weird to say that, having a conversation with people that I'm not actually having a conversation with is fun, but it is. It's it's good for me. Anyway, guys, I will see you later, and thank you again for stopping by. Bye.